Hello, the purpose of this presentation is to go over table making, table placement, and table formatting. First off, I'm going to go ahead and show you some incorrect things on this page and give you an idea how they then should appear. First of all, you see table 14 is in the middle of the page. You should not have something before or after a table or figure. APA asks for them to be at the top of the page or the bottom of the page. So the first thing or the last thing. Second of all, here you see this table is placed in the middle of a sentence, a block quote at that. You see a block quote starting here and finishing here. Tables and figures should be placed after a full paragraph and ideally after the first time they are mentioned. So that's something to avoid. And then also you see table 15 starts on a page and finishes on a second page here. If a table can fit on a single page, do that. Don't split it up unless you have to. So what we would want to do then is say, okay, let's figure out where table 14 goes. And then also let's understand that the stuff before a table, the table number, the table name, as well as the note, all of that should be double spaced. Don't mix in single spacing. You're going to mess it up. This should all be double spaced. The table itself can be single, 1.5, or double spaced, but all of the text before and after as part of the table but not within it should be double spaced. So let's find out where is table 14 first mentioned. So scroll up a bit, you see a correct version of the table that I've created. Table 14 is first mentioned here, there's not space, so we add a page break and then it starts here. And you see here all of these headings are centered. The leftmost column is left justified. All of the other columns are centered. The exception would be, let's say some of these cells have long amounts of text. In that case, you would want to consistently, for them, make them left justified so they can be read more easily. However, if it's not a long field of text, it's typically best to just have it centered as recommended. You see the proper double spacing here. If there's a note or any significance to put down here, it would be within a space after, and then you'd have to have a full space before the text began. So let's here show you an example. You see, okay, table 15 is mentioned here, so we add table 15. You know it's not going to fit here, so you go ahead and add a page break. So page break there, title, and then immediately following the title, insert a table. So in this case, it would be a 5x6. So you would play around with it here. You'd want to make sure, okay, it does not exceed the 1-inch margins on either side. So if you need to add an extra column to it, just go like this, insert column to the right, because if you do it that way, it'll stay within the margins. Let's say you go here, I want to make this one a little bigger. I'll do that here. Doesn't exceed the margins. Let's say I want all of these to be the same. Distribute columns evenly. And you can play with it that way. You can also go up here. Let's say I have text that I want to be single spaced or 1.5. You can control it there. You can add before and after spacing. You can get rid of all the vertical lines inside by going insert vertical borders. Then you can get rid of them on the outside, etc. to your liking. And that's how you go about setting up a table. Of course, you'd make that bold, you'd make that italics, you'd finish a lot of the other things, but those are the nuts and bolts. Please email me if you have questions.